Hello and welcome back. It's been a while since I've been working on the TR6, but I've got myself healthy again and we can get on with it. Today I look around the back of the car and I noticed that this Gator on the drive shaft had perished, but the other one is quite okay. So today I'm going to replace this Gator. It means jacking the back end up, taking the wheel off and taking the drive shaft back through the hub. I also noticed that the Armstrong lever stop had perished on both sides. Don't know if you can see that one very well. Yeah, on both sides. So I did order some parts for some replacement bumper stops for those from Rimmers, and I'm just waiting for them to arrive, but they can be done at a later date. So the job today is to replace this Gator. So I've taken the wheel off to allow access to the bolts and nuts. But here at the drive shaft end, we've got 4 nuts and bolts there to remove. They are 9/16, and unfortunately you can't get a socket in there. So the only way is to use a ring spanner and a flat, because as you turn this around you can get the flat and it can stay on there, and the ring spanner can just do their job. I did pre-loosen these because they were torqued in. So without much further, I'm going to take these 4 off, and then we'll look at the other side. So there we have the 4 nuts and bolts removed. We've got to clean those nuts and bolts up later because they were full of Loctite. And I'm just going to check here for any excessive wear on the diff, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. It seems to be nice and tight. So we're now looking at the wheel, at the drum, and we have 2 screws, one there and one here, and we've taken them out with a large flathead. And now we're going to take off the drum. Might need a little persuasion, and off that comes. Probably give this a clean up and another paint because it hasn't been done for 20 years. And the next job is to remove the nuts in here. 6 nuts in there and the 1/2 inch, and we just have to turn the shaft around to get to each one. So I won't bore you with watching those. I'll just take them off. Be careful with when you taking this off with the springs, but we'll get to that later. So one little tip, there's a washer behind the nut. If you can just get your magnet in there and you can drag it out and out it pops. See if you're struggling. Just a little tip. So taking this off, I just realized that the whole brake assembly is coming off with it. I should have done a bit more research, but I watched the Rimmer YouTube and this is what they told me to do. But as it is, this boot here on the back of the brake is perished. It needs to be replaced anyway, so I'm going to take off the brake line and release the cotter pin here for the handbrake and take the whole assembly off. So now I'm going to pull this slot out. Oh, there you go. And looking at what I've got, so now I'm looking now, and there's no need to take this off because the half shaft, the spline, is in 2 parts. As you can see, the gaiter is completely gone in here, and there it is there. So I'm just going to have to, I'm going to put the shaft back on because it is a bit of a bother, and then I'll replace the gaiter. So while I have this off the drive shaft, I just have to remove these twisty wires, which has probably been here for quite a while. And the wires won't be going back on. I'm going to replace them with hose clamps. Just have a quick look around. Everything seems to be fine there. Spline looks okay. Just don't want to drop it now. There you go. Well, that's the yoke flange fitted. I couldn't get any hose clamps thin, and what I got was a CV joint hose clip. So I'm going to try this out and we'll see how it goes. If it works on this side, I'll probably change it to the other side. So the next job is to fit the drive shaft in the brake assembly onto the half yoke. So I'm not going to show you how I'm struggling with this, but we'll see it before I tighten all the nuts. So the shortcut of putting the flange on first did not work. because I couldn't line up the splines. It was quite difficult to turn this to line up the spline from the axle. So I had to take the flange off again, feed the axle through, and then line up the splines with the keyway of the flange onto the axle, which didn't take too long at all. So now all I've got to do is put the flange back on and swing around to the brake and fit the brake on, and then we got the cover nut. So hopefully we'll see it all back together soon. So I've torqued the 6 nuts from the axle to the flange, and I've torqued them at about 27 pounds per foot. So the next stage is putting on the cover to the brakes. As you can hear, it turns pretty good. So no horrible grunting. So that's good. So there it is. The gate has been replaced, and I've used CV boot hose clips, as they call them over here. They're a bit different, so I'm just see how they work out, because the hose clamps that I wanted were too wide, and these fit nicely in there. And if you notice, I've put the handbrake back on, put the the brake cable in there, brake pipe in there, because I didn't want to lose any bits. So until I get the new rubber gaiter down there, that's how it's going to be. Now, just as a bit of a laugh, my wife bought me this week, and she says everybody who's restoring a Triumph TR6 should have one of these hanging up somewhere. Oops. There you go, I just dropped it. She thought it was quite funny. She says, "You're always waiting for parts, so this is it." Yes, I quite understand where she's coming from. So my next task will be to replace these bump stops, and look would have it, what arrived today from Bremer Brothers, and it took weeks to get here, believe me, are 2 new bumper stops. So they're going to go in tomorrow or next day and for the next video. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps me, it helps others, and until next time, have a great day. Bye bye.